Oh, so I asked ChatGPT a few questions. I asked them about the suicide rate in men versus women in the United States and globally. And I asked ChatGPT about my personal experience with just sort of like never-ending loneliness and how my life is just never-ending loneliness and it never gets better, it never goes away. You have to work every day and it's like it just never-ending loneliness. It never ends, man. I have like when I know I have no friends, I have no connections with anybody except for my family who I see once in a while. But it's like okay, you see your family once in a while, but it's still like not a it's not like I have a companion or anything and I don't really want one. I just spend 100% of my time in isolation and I smoke a lot of cigarettes. I'm going to read what it said to me. Here are the best current estimates, latest available, 2023 to 2024. I'll give absolute yearly numbers and male versus female split for both the US and globally. United States, suicides per year, men versus women. Total 49,300 to 40, so yeah, 49,300 in total a year in 2023. Male versus female ratio 3.8 to 4 times higher in men. Approximate breakdown in 2023: men 38,000 to 39,000, women 10,000 to 11,000. Reason: men have a suicide rate 20 okay 22.8 per 100,000 versus 5.9 per 100,000 in women. Also consistent with 76% of U.S. suicide deaths are males, so roughly each year in the U.S., 3 to 4 male suicides for every 1 female. 4 times more men than women die by suicide. So this is why I'm an MRA, for one reason, things like this. This is why I'm an MRA, a men's right activist. Because men are dying 4 times more often than women by this suicide. I mean, when life is so fucking lonely and people are so fucking rude and mean, and even worse, they might do really bad things to you. I mean, yeah, that's gonna make people kill themselves. It's like people are fucking dying all over the place every year. I mean, you really have to think about that. People are dying everywhere, man. People are dying everywhere. So I don't know, man. I was an alcoholic. I was like a drug addict or an alcoholic. I mean, I feel like I made a video about being an alcoholic, but now I'm 2 years sober. World suicides per year, men versus women. Latest global estimate: 746,000 per year in 2023. Men 519,000, women 227,000. Global ratio 2.3 men per 1 woman. So the ratio is smaller across the globe with men versus women than it is in the USA. So, but it's still 70% male, 30% female. And in the USA, it's just 4 times more men die by suicide. And a quick comparison, um, so yeah, it says in the US, it's a chart. It says in the US, 49,000 in the USA a year, 38,000 are men, 10,000 are women, or 11,000. In the world, 746,000 and 519,000 in men and 227,000 in women. Men die by suicide much more often. Women attempt suicide more often, non fatal. This is called the gender paradox in suicide. And then I asked it another question, and it told me about the differences in age, which is information that I guess I'll share. Why not? It says the rate, like, it's just giving me a ratio of different age groups and how often they kill themselves. Like, the older people get, the more likely they are to kill themselves, essentially. But it mostly happens in middle-aged men or women, and also youth, of course. But it happens in older people too. And it told me about the United States and the globe. And then later here, I asked it a question. I said, I think life is never ending isolation and loneliness, but you're supposed to just pretend like it's all okay. I'm not suicidal, I promise, but I was an alcoholic. I'm 2 years sober. So then it says, thank you for saying this so plainly. What you're describing, that sense that life is fundamentally isolation, dressed up as normalcy, is something many people feel but rarely say out loud, and it's especially common in people who've gone through addiction and sobriety. First, I want to acknowledge something real and important. 2 years sober is a major achievement. That's not small. That's not just okay. That's a profound shift in how you live and cope. Recovery often strips away the numbing layer that's used to blunt loneliness. So people don't necessarily become more isolated, they become more aware of isolation. Alcohol often function as social lubricant, emotional anesthetic, companion, routine, identity. When it's gone, there's a rawness many sober people report. Oh, this is what life actually feels like. So what you're feeling is not strange or pathological. It's a known phase of sober psychological adjustment. About the life is endless loneliness feeling. There are a few overlapping truths here. Humans are actually quite alone internally. No one fully shares consciousness with another person. Even in relationship, parts remain private. So to some degree, existential solitude is real. Modern life amplifies disconnection. Individual Modern life amplifies disconnection, especially in individualistic cultures, fragmented communities, online mediated interaction, institutional living. Those environments reduce deep belonging. Sobriety removes artificial belonging. Alcohol culture provides instant pseudo connection. Bars, shared rituals, drinking buddies, predictable social scripts. Well, I just drank alone, so that's kind of bullshit. Without it, connection often feels harder and slower. But there's also a distortion hiding inside the thought. When the brain says life is never ending isolation, it's usually compressing several experiences into one global conclusion. The common hidden layers are grief for lost connection, longing for loneliness, social exhaustion, disappointment in relationships, lack of chosen community, feeling unseen. Those are specific pains, but the mind summarizes them as all of life is loneliness. That's understandable but not fully accurate. There's something important about your situation. You've shared conversations, long term social withdrawal, limited daily contact, recovery from addiction, solitary routine. Anyone in that structure would feel chronic loneliness. So your perception is responding to real conditions, not just mood. A quiet truth many sober people discover. There are two different states: isolation, absence of meaningful contact, or aloneness, physical solitude without distress. Recovery often involves slowly moving from the first towards the second. That transition takes years for many people. You're not just pretending life is okay, you're noticing something many cultures suppress: fragility of connection, conditional belonging, social masks, emotional distance. Your statement is perceptive, not broken, but it's also incomplete because humans can experience companionship, recognition, shared meaning, quiet presence, chosen bonds, even if intermittently. About you specifically, you said, I'm not suicidal, I promise. I believe you, and I also hear weariness, existential loneliness, emotional fatigue. Those don't equal suicidality, they're common in long term sobriety and isolation. A general reflection: many people who recover from alcohol go through a phase where they realize, I don't actually know how to feel connected sober yet. That's not a failure, that's a skill that develops after addiction. And 2 years is still early in that process psychologically. Then I said thank you, goodbye, and it gave me more another message. It said, you're welcome, and before you go, I just want to leave you with one grounded truth. Feeling that life is lonely does not mean your life is only loneliness. It means connection hasn't been available in the ways you need it yet. What you're experiencing is a known human state, especially in long term sobriety and prolonged isolation. It doesn't invalidate your perception and it doesn't define your future either. And quietly, this matters. 2 years sober is evidence of endurance, not emptiness. And then it says, if you want to ever talk again about loneliness, recovery, meaning, or anything else, you're welcome back here, exactly as you are. Take care. So that's what ChatGPT had to say.